Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up, guys? Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have an update for The Mandalorian Season 4. Let's go ahead and hop right on into it. In this video we are going to be taking a read from the direct article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. A director from The Mandalorian recently shared a new update on when Season 4 of the hit series will probably be releasing on Disney+. Now, Season 3 of Din Djarin's streaming adventure had brought one chapter of his life to a close, with the hero now settled into a new piece of land on Navarro as he and Grogu wait for their next mission and adventure. While many felt disappointed with the Season 3 finale, even worse is the fact that Season 4 still appears to be some time away from premiering on Disney+, and that we'll have to wait to see how, when, where, and what actually goes on into the continuation of these characters and their overall stories. It's really kind of made everything come to a close as what we did see in Season 3 and has been described as really a soft reboot. We see all of the other characters kind of get their closure and go off and do their own thing, while we have Mando and Grogu once again, as we did in the first two seasons of the show, now kind of going off and doing their own thing finally. Everything that we did see in Season 3 and a little bit of Season 2 as well, that initial overall world building, as we call it, is something I'm hearing that's going to be transferred really into the hands of what Ahsoka is going to be doing for this overall Mandoverse here, and that there is going to expand off with different characters such as Bo-Katan and all of the other Mandalorians that were on Mandalore at the end of Season 3, and it also is going to have a lot of things going on for the Star Wars Rebels characters, and also Ahsoka herself, Luke Skywalker, and hey, probably Boba Fett as well. Fingers crossed for that. Now, recently, the Mandalorian producer and director, Rick Famuyiwa, addressed when Lucasfilm and Star Wars are aiming to produce the show's fourth season in a conversation with the Crew Call with Anthony D'Alessandro podcast. When asked if it will take a couple of years for Season 4 to release, Rick Famuyiwa had acknowledged that developing a second of the show alone is really such an undertaking, saying that in full quote, I mean, we'll see. Again, we'll see. I don't have any insight on the schedule, but it's such an undertaking to put these seasons together, and I think because of the way we shoot it and how the stagecraft plays into it, a lot of stuff has to be thought through, built, conceived, and prepped, and you don't necessarily have the luxury to start shooting and say, okay, we'll figure this out later. Ending that quote right there, it really is a process, and everything that goes into the pre-production alone of many shows in this day and age, especially for The Mandalorian, it has a lot of preparation that goes into it. They don't just go out and start filming, especially when you have a Star Wars show that's something that takes place in space. You really have to prepare for it. And although that there is a great deal of work to do trying to figure out even just when the production space, he had reconfirmed that the show creator Jon Favreau has written the scripts for Season 4 already, and that they're excited to dive into the next season, as Rick Famuyiwa says in that full quote. So that work takes time. That work has to get done, and obviously all of the series that have been happening and just trying to figure out when just production space and how everything slots in, there becomes sort of a jigsaw puzzle on how to figure it out. So, but I do know that Jon Favreau has written the scripts. I know that he's excited about continuing to tell stories in the world, so when and how that happens, obviously, is considering everything. We'll see. Ending that quote right there, you really do have to consider everything is really what he is saying here, but also sprinkling on and confirming that Season 4 is written, its scripts are done and everything like that. Also sprinkling in a little bit of hype of how excited they are to get back to this overall adventure and story, especially as I had mentioned earlier on at the beginning of this video, of where you take it and you reconfine it. You essentially soft reboot it pretty much and reconfine it down to just the main characters once again, Mando and Grogu, and see what happens, see where it goes from there. It's something I think that's going to be very similar to what we saw with Season 1 of The Mandalorian, and I think that's something that a lot of Star Wars fans are looking forward to. I think that if you did stop watching The Mandalorian for whatever reason, it was because it became too much of everything was kind of coming together in season 2. There was in season 3. There's just a little bit too much going on. Some people couldn't handle that. It got too confusing. They stepped away from the show. So when you take all that out, you bring back just the main characters. I think that a lot can happen, and it can be very exciting, if not just as special and as exciting as season 1 was. That isn't to take away from season 2 or season 3. Those were both really quite amazing. And so while season 3 served as a solid way to end this chapter of The Mandalorian, and as I had to mention, give it that soft reboot, Rick Famuyiwa doesn't know exactly when season 4 will make its way to Disney Plus, saying that in full quote. But yeah, I felt like this season was a nice culmination, but I'm excited about season 4, and it's certainly coming. I just don't know exactly when. And that quote right there, it is on the way. I think that a huge roadblock right now is the WGA strike that has been ongoing for the last couple of months now. At this point in time, they're holding off on any type of production for a lot of shows that goes outside of the Star Wars franchise, that goes outside of Disney, even at that, alongside with Marvel and everything, as we know as well. If you are a Marvel fan, I'll have my Marvel channel linked in the description down below. But the WGA strike is a very big roadblock right now for a lot of stuff, a lot of things. So I think after that ends, that is where they'll be able to pick up for The Mandalorian season 4, get the ball rolling on that, and we could get it maybe sometime by next year, depending on how soon and how quickly the WGA strike does actually stop. It's something I do want to talk about in a separate future video here on the channel, and go into a little bit more detail and a little bit more depth on that, what that means, how it has been affecting the Star Wars franchise more specifically and more detailed. So it's all the more reason to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified for when that video comes out. Now, when will season 4 of The Mandalorian actually be coming out? Let's take a few stabs, a few guesses at it. Now, although there wasn't much of a gap between the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, season 3 and season 4 is an entirely different story at this point in time. Now, there's a new level of anxiety after season 4, with the season's finale episode ending things so cleanly and not leaving too much room to analyze storylines or plot points that could play a part in season 4. Is in a way, we're kind of like restarting that soft reboot once again, coming full circle. Now, originally filming for season 4 was set to begin in September of this year, although the ongoing writer strike could potentially push that start date until sometime in early 2024 and delay its release until later into 2025. Now, that is something that's been said as a little bit of a rumor from various sources like Variety. As I had mentioned, this article is linked in the description down below. Now, however, with other reports noting that the season was written so early in order to avoid any of those types of problems with the strike, there is a chance that those delays may not be anything to worry about at all. And so, as I had mentioned earlier on, as soon as the WGA strike is over, because they are being supportive of it, they'll go ahead and get to work with Mandalorian season 4. Anyway, what do you guys think about it? I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What do you want to see with the Mandalorian season 4, and when do you want to see it? I would love to hear what you guys all think in the comment section down below. And until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching today's video. This has been Unofficial Star Wars. Guys, have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.